I love the game. I'm always going to feel like, or keep people off guard by not knowing, I can still play the game if I choose to play the game. The game should be fun. I enjoy the game. I think the game brings out a lot of happiness and joy to me, and I try to express that in the way that I play. And the people that are watching, I like to give them that sense of enjoyment as well. So if I ever feel that I'm not playing the game for fun or enjoying the game, then I know it's time for me to quit. My love for the game goes from year to year. As I can continue to create my appetite and determination and certain goals for myself to achieve, then I'm gonna be playing.
When you say that, never, you better be sure that, things are 100% that way, and I couldn't because of my love for the game, but I was pretty sure, when I left the game in 98, I was, pretty sure that I wouldn't come back to the game, 99.9% sure.
MJ. Oh, he did it! Michael Shake.
Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
At the end of the game, you gotta get it out of his head.
Okay, I'm back. This is another episode of Proof That Astrology is Real. Today, it's been a quick turnaround because I'm dropping 2 videos today. So I also just dropped the Alicia Keys video. So if you don't know, it's Aquarius season, so I've been choosing to do my videos on Aquarius. So it's only right that we do a Michael Jordan, whose birthday today. So happy birthday to MJ, Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball player of all time and one of the greatest athletes of all time. So who else better to do if I'm doing Aquarius than Michael Jordan, one of the GOAT Aquarius, one of the best Aquarius that there is, and somebody who really represents Aquarius well. So I'm gonna be breaking down Michael Jordan birth chart to see if his personality lines up with what astrology says his personality would be like, because most people know who Michael Jordan is. Michael Jordan, one of the most famous people of all time. So, and a lot of us know, especially if you a fan like myself, we know a lot about Michael Jordan, life and personality and the way he acts and stuff like that. So I want to dive into his chart to see if it can help us prove that astrology is real. So if this your first time or this your first video watching, first time watching one of my videos, I basically made this channel and these series to bring better understanding to astrology. Astrology has become a big topic. A lot of people believe in it and then a lot of people don't, but most people know what it is. It's that big to where most people know what astrology and zodiac signs is, whether you believe it or not. So a lot of people haven't did their research. Most of the people who don't believe in it because they haven't did their research, or they spiritual and they feel like believing in astrology goes against God, which is not the case at all, because I believe in both. I don't look at it as a God. I look at it as a way to predict, well, not really predict people's personality, but it does tell a lot about people's personality traits. If you did your research, you would know that to be true. So I didn't make it up. I don't know who made it up, but it's a lot of truth to it once you really deep dive into astrology. So like I say in a lot of my videos, everybody is their own person, your background, your race, where you was raised, what part of the world is also going to shape you as a person. So, someone who's a Asian Aquarius born in China is going to act different than African American born in Chicago, in America. Like that. Their personalities, and they're going to be different culturally and how they was raised, the parents that they had, all of that shapes and molds you into who you are as a person. But regardless, the people will still show certain traits of having that certain zodiac sign, just the way that they're going to go about it is going to be different based on their background and religion. So, and also, a lot of people wonder why they might act different than somebody who has their zodiac sign. Like some people be like, well, I'm a Leo and this other Leo acts different. And that's because everybody has their own birth chart with different signs and different planets that makes them a unique person. So you might have the same sun sign as a person, but y'all might have different moon signs or and rising signs. So that's a big reason why two people can act different, but at the same time y'all are going to share some traits. But if y'all charts is totally different, a lot about y'all is going to be different. But what I noticed recently, if you have a sun and a moon sign with somebody, y'all going to be a lot of like a certain ways. Y'all still going to be different because like I said, of y'all background, how y'all was raised culturally, race and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, because I done looked into a lot of people who share the same sun and moon sign, and they both usually share a lot of traits, and their personalities are a lot similar if a lot of their planets line up with each other. So I just wanted to get that out the way because I feel like I always have to say that for the people who just started watching my video. So let's get into it. Michael Jordan birth astrology chart. So who is Michael Jordan? If you don't know, Michael Jordan is a basketball player, retired NBA player, considered the greatest basketball player of all time, cultural icon. Most people know about his shoes. It got to be the top selling shoe of all time. I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I'm pretty sure it is. We all know how big and how popular the Jordan shoe is. It's, one of, if not the biggest shoe of all time. The Jordan brand is one of the biggest brands of all time. So, yeah, I mean, most of us know who Michael Jordan is. So, Michael Jordan was born February 17th, 1963. So I think he actually turned 61 this this year. He just turned 61 today. So once again, happy birthday to MJ. So let's get into it. So his birthday, February 17th. So of course, we already know he's Aquarius. So his sun is in Aquarius, his moon is in Sagittarius, his Mercury is in Aquarius, Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Leo, Jupiter in Pisces, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Virgo, Neptune in Scorpio, Pluto in Virgo, North Node in Cancer, Lymph in Libra. So if you new here, like I always say, your sun, moon, and your rising sign is usually, if they call it the big three, because they usually tell the most about your personality. If you know your sun, moon, and rising sign, you could get it basically will sum up the major traits of your personality. Now, every planet rules something different, so whatever sign you have in that planet will affects like how it will work in that area. For example, Venus is the planet of love and beauty and partnership. So most people love like gonna be tied to their Venus. So whatever sign you have your Venus in gonna reflect your love style and your relationships, and it can kind of tell you who you would be good in a partnership with based on your Venus a lot of times. Because a lot of times when people look into astrology, they look at being compatible with other signs. That's why most people look it up to see if they compatible with another sign. But being compatible with your sun and moon sign does tell a lot. And it does speak to if you will be able to connect with the person and get along with them, but also your Venus can tell a lot about your relationships. And the same for Mercury, the planet of communication. So whatever your Mercury in is going to be your communication style, the way you talk, and the way that you look at things from a communication standpoint. So Michael Jordan rising also is in Gemini, so I left that out. So right off rip, um, his sun and moon, like I always say, his sun and moon sign. Usually, some people feel like your moon sign could tell who you are better than your sun sign because I break it down as your moon sign is your inner self, your feelings, what you don't show. That's why I symbolize by the moon. And the sun is what you show and can be broken down into like how you think. Like I look at it like your sun sign is how you think, your moon sign is how you feel. So getting that out the way. So breaking down his sun being in Aquarius. So if this your first time watching the video, because my last 6, 7 videos have been about Aquarius. So most people should already know what I'm about to say, but if you new here, so Aquarius is a air sign, just like Libra and Gemini. So with it being an air signs are dealing with communication and intellect. They the thinkers of the zodiac and the communicators of the zodiac. So most people who Aquarius, they gonna be big on communication and they gonna be big on mental things and things having to do with the mind. Aquarius is also a fixed sign. So most fixed signs, they associated with being stubborn, with being stuck in their ways. It's hard to change their mind about something, especially with Aquarius, because Aquarius is dealing with communication and intellect and the mind. So most Aquarius is going to be stubborn in the way that they think versus a fixed water sign like Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So they're going to be stubborn in the way that they feel because water signs are dealing with feelings. The same with Taurus. Taurus is going to be fixed in the way that they think about earth things, which is having to do with stability and practical things like, work and money and things like that. So also Aquarius is associated with being rebellious, going against the status quo, being smart, being an out of the box thinker. A lot of Aquarius is good with communication, good with technology because Aquarius rules technology. Aquarius rule friendship. So a lot of Aquarius that have a bunch of friends. Um, what else do Aquarius associated with? Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus. So Uranus is the planet of technology, rebellion, sudden events, surprise events. Most Aquarius is considered unique or weird because a lot of Aquarius is different. Like they always say, Aquarius is different from all other zodiac signs. So that can make them unique, but then at the same time, weird. A lot of people don't understand Aquarius in their ways. And then a lot of Aquarius is erratic, so they do a lot of things just spur of the moment. It's hard to predict what the Aquarius is going to do next. So that's an Aquarius. So with the sun sign being in Aquarius, that's going to be the way that Michael Jordan thinks and his outer self is going to be a lot of Aquarius, and he's going to show a lot of the traits that I just named. So his moon sign is in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is a fire sign, mutable fire sign. So along with Aries and Leo, so fire signs is associated with passion and being outgoing and fiery, just like it sounds. So water and fire signs are the feelers of the zodiac, and earth and air signs are the thinkers of the zodiac. So, but fire and water think they both feelers, but they feel different versus water signs is your traditional feelers. Like when you think of emotional set, fire signs are also emotional, but it's more so like passionate emotional versus like deep emotions, like, being sad, happy, all of them type of things like a water sign would be. So Sagittarius also is associated with being free, loving to travel, not being tied down, being spontaneous. Um, it's immutable versus fixed. So a lot of Sagittarius is open to change and changing and exploring and trying new and different things. So Sagittarius are associated with being blunt, straight. They blunt and straightforward with the way that they talk, and they also ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, wisdom, and spirituality. Spiritual. Can't believe I'm messing up that word, but spirituality, being spiritual. So yeah, that's a Sagittarius. So looking at the sun and moon sign, being Aquarius and Sagittarius, off rip, it's gonna tell us somebody who, because Aquarius and Sagittarius share a lot of traits. I always say that Sagittarius is probably the closest to Aquarius when it comes to zodiac signs, and a lot of Aquarius and Sagittarius can be best friends and get along a lot because they both are blunt people, but they both blunt and straightforward. They both don't like to be tied down. They both like speaking their mind. They both are smart people, intellectual people. They both outgoing. They both like trying new things. Like a lot of Aquarius and Sagittarius share a lot of the same traits. So having and I always say having the sun and the moon sign with the air and the fire sign goes together well because air goes with fire. So someone who has a sun and the moon with the air and fire sign can be balanced out because sometimes when you got like two air signs, like if you a sun sign with an air sign and a moon sign with an air sign, you can be like, you can think too much versus doing. You can be, you could procrastinate a lot. So that can be sometimes the downfall versus when you got like a fire moon sign, it can give you like that passion and that outgoing to do what you think. And it can kind of like you can be a good blend of being outgoing and mental at the same time. So yeah, so Aquarius and Sagittarius is a good sun moon combination. I forgot. I think I just did somebody who had a Aquarius sun and moon and Sagittarius. I can't believe I don't remember. Dang, but I know that Oprah also has a sun and moon Aquarius and Sagittarius. It's somebody else also that's big. And I can't believe I can't remember. But yeah, Oprah also has a sun Aquarius and moon and Sagittarius, and they both are they both billionaires. They both two of the biggest black people in entertainment. So I mean that can just be a coincidence, but I just thought that thought that I would point that out. So his Mercury is in Aquarius, so his communication style gonna be that of Aquarius. So Michael Jordan communication style gonna be different than a lot of people, unique in a way, straightforward, sometimes rebellious. It's gonna be somebody he gonna communicate when he talk, he gonna think for himself for the most part. Um, he gonna have his own way of communicating that's different than most people. So um Mercury is ruled by Gemini and Virgo. So people who have their Mercury and Gemini and Virgo gonna usually be the best communicators, but having the air sign and Mercury is pretty good because air sign is dealing with communication. So people who have their Mercury and Aquarius gonna be good at communicating. So yeah, so some when I get to this, I usually try to break it down. They actually didn't give us a breakdown this time. So I'm gonna have to look at it what it says somebody Mercury in Aquarius would be like. People who have a Aquarius Mercury are intelligent, idealistic, humanitarian, open-minded, erratic, and unconventional. People with the Aquarius Mercury can sometimes be seen as rebellious, Victorian, aloof, or insensitive. So we know that that can definitely be true about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is definitely aloof in a lot of ways. Some people look at Michael Jordan as what to say can be insensitive and not caring about what people think. Michael Jordan definitely is intelligent, open-minded, and he actually is a humanitarian, which he don't get a lot of credit for, but I'll get into that. So his Venus is in Capricorn. So believe Alicia Keys' Venus was in Capricorn. So with Venus, like I said, it's the planet of love, beauty, and harmony. It's basically rule partnerships in your love life for the most part. So Capricorn is the earth sign. So earth signs are dealing with stability and being stable. So most people who has a Venus in Capricorn gonna be married and crave relationships. So it makes sense that Michael Jordan is married, just like Alicia Keys is married. I'm not saying that every Venus in Capricorn is married, but a lot of them is, because it just so happened that Alicia Keys and Michael Jordan both have a Venus in Capricorn, and both of them just so happen to be married. But yeah, so Capricorn is associated, like I said, it's the earth sign. It's dealing with hard work, discipline. Yeah, most Capricorns is known for being disciplined, hard workers, of course, craving social status. A lot of them are CEOs of companies like Jeff Bezos. So yeah, trying to think what else. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is the planet of discipline, um, karma, hard work, uh, life lessons, and things like that. So, yeah, with his Venus being in Capricorn, it's gonna be somebody who definitely want to be stable, and like I said, a lot of them gonna be married, like Michael Jordan is. So, look at Venus and practical and goal oriented in love. Venus and Capricorn individuals are practical and goal oriented when it comes to love. They approach relationships with a sense of responsibility and long term commitment. They value stability, security in their romantic relationships. So basically, what I said. So his Mars is in Leo. So Mars is ruled by Aries. It's the planet of aggression, um, your aggression, passion, and your sex life. So Leo is a fire sign, just like Aries and Sagittarius. Leo's is fixed fire. So most Leos gonna be stubborn and stuck in their ways. Leo's is associated with being brave. They the stars of zodiac, so they can crave attention a lot, want to be the star of the show. A lot of Leos can be associated with being arrogant. Leo is actually ruled by the sun. So a lot of people who have their sun in Leo can do well in acting and being a celebrity and things like that. That's what Leo is being associated with. So with this Mars being a Leo, I'm guessing that's somebody who will crave being popular. So people with Mars and Leo are confident, expressive, and dramatic. They're driven to accomplish their goals and receive praise. On the downside, Mars and Leo folks can be egotistical or possessive and jealous in their relationships. So that's big. So I actually don't know if Michael Jordan is jealous in his relationships. That haven't really came out yet. Like, that's something that only people behind closed doors of Michael Jordan would know. But we definitely do know that Michael Jordan is definitely a confident, expressive individual. Definitely driven by his goals and to receive praise. So a lot of people don't think that Michael Jordan is driven by receiving praise, but that might be a big part of it without Michael Jordan even knowing it. So uh Michael Jordan, oh well, like I said, I don't know about the relationship with, can Michael Jordan be egotistical? Um, Not as much as he could be in certain ways. Like, you could tell Michael Jordan got that swagger and that confidence about himself, but then he not overboard. But that goes to him being the Aquarius, because Aquarius is the opposite of Leo. So a lot of Aquarius not gonna be overly expressive and have a big ego. Like a lot of Aquarius is not big or having a big ego. So and of course his sun sign is gonna outweigh his Mars sign. So that's be why he's not as egotistical as a stereotypical Leo. So his Jupiter is in Pisces. Like I said, Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. Um, and Pisces is a water sign. Pisces, believe Pisces is mutable water. Yeah, because Scorpio is fixed and then Cancer is cardinal. So yeah, it's mutable water. So it's gonna be somebody who open to changing the way that they feel, basically based on who they around. they can alter and change the way that they feel about things. They're not going to be stuck or stubborn for the most part. And then Pisces is dealing with uh, like a lot of Pisces are spiritual. They do a lot of artsy things. They good with art, singing, drawing, and things like that. A lot of them, a lot of Pisces I know is they hard workers. That's all I could think of right now. But we gonna look at his Jupiter being in Pisces. If Jupiter blesses you, you are a soft soul that is full of compassion and love. You feel very connected to people that come into your life. No matter how well you know them, you have an intimate understanding of people that allows you to sense their feelings without the need for words. So spiritual, compassionate, and deep is what somebody who Jupiter and Pisces is gonna be like. So yeah, that I don't know too much about Michael Jordan with his Jupiter being in Pisces and them type of thinking. Like I said, some of this stuff sometimes we don't we know a lot about celebrities and a lot about people, but we don't know the stuff that they don't show us in behind closed doors. And then too, I'm not the type of person like if you a diehard um fan of one of these celebrities or Michael Jordan, maybe you might know more, but because I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, but I'm not, like a stan or somebody who like literally gonna look into every aspect of a person's life. So for that, Michael Jordan would only know. I haven't really looked at Michael Jordan as spiritual, but I know he compassionate and deep for sure. So yeah, that's a Jupiter and Pisces. So his Saturn is in Aquarius. So Saturn is ruled by Capricorn. So Saturn is dealing with discipline and hard work and karma. So his Saturn being in Aquarius, Saturn. Oh, people with Saturn and Aquarius are focused, intelligent, and don't bother themselves with irrational worries. They have a steady minds and take objective and scientific approach. They are stubborn and persistent, but also exceptionally efficient and productive. So definitely. Saturn is also ruled by Aquarius because some planets is actually ruled by two planets, an old planet and a new planet. So a lot of Capricorn and Aquarius share a lot of traits, and Aquarius do have a lot of Saturn traits. So Aquarius is a good place to have your Saturn in, even though it's ruled by Capricorn. It's also do good in Aquarius also because Saturn also used to rule Aquarius. So yeah, focused and intelligent. We definitely know them things about Michael Jordan. They are stubborn and persistent. So I can definitely see that with Michael Jordan for sure. So his Uranus is in Virgo. Uranus, like I said, is ruled by Aquarius and dealing with change, forward thinking, technology, friendships. Them that just off the top of my head of what I can remember. So Virgo is the earth sign. Virgo is mutable earth, so it's gonna be open to changing way of thinking when it comes to stability and practical things. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so Virgo is gonna be good. A lot of Virgo's gonna be good with communication and dealing with things that has to do with communication, talking. A lot of Virgos are singer and rappers like Beyonce, Nas, Michael Jackson, and such. Virgos is what else about Virgos? Virgos are definitely uh detail oriented, they overthink a lot. So yeah, they practical, like I said. So a lot of Virgos gonna be dealing with material things, being married, being in relationships like other Earth signs. So this Uranus being in Virgo, the individual can be highly intuitive and forward thinking, but also very organized, detailed, and a perfectionist. It is it is a capacity to blend revolutionary thinking with practical application. So um, that's a Virgo in Uranus. So also the positive and negative traits of somebody with Uranus and Virgo. The negative traits is tense, perfectionist, disapproving, compulsive, and choosy. So I wanted to just look at um the negative traits of having your Uranus and Virgo. Even though I don't think that Uranus and Virgo is a real bad placement, because I think is it Scorpio, I think is bad in Uranus. Like if you have a Scorpio in Uranus, it's bad. See, that got me going. Hey, this what I wanted to pull up where each planet do good and bad in that planet. So I keep on forgetting the easy way to know what sign does good in that planet is whatever sign rules that planet. So most of most people who know basic astrology know that. So for example, the sun rules Leo. So if you have a Leo sun, you will do good. Cancer, the moon is ruled by Cancer. So if you have a Cancer moon, you're going to do good in that area. Mercury is ruled by Gemini and Virgo. So if you have Gemini and Virgo and Mercury, you're going to do good in that area. Libra and Taurus is ruled by Venus, so you're going to do good in that area. So if you have a Libra and Taurus Venus, you're going to be do good in your love life for the most part. If you have a Mercury and Gemini and Virgo, you're going to do good with communication. If you have a Mars and Aries or Scorpio, you're going to do good when it comes to your aggression and passion in life and chasing your dreams. So it's whatever sign is the opposite because every sign has an opposite sign. So whatever sign is opposite of that sign is what's going to do bad in that planet. So just like Leo is the opposite of Aquarius. So people with Aquarius sun can do bad in that area when it comes to the sun. So what that really means for, because the sun is your outer self, and then it can sometimes be your passion. So Aquarius can sometimes procrastinate and overthink things versus a Leo who more outgoing when it comes to having a passion. So you just got to watch out for them things. So like Aquarius, which I'm conscious of, I got to be conscious of not procrastinating a lot. And then what I was getting into was Uranus. So if you have a Leo in Uranus, you're gonna do bad in that placement. Um, because and then Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, which is the opposite of Cancer. So Cancers is gonna do bad if you have a Cancer and Saturn. So y'all get the point. Just like Libra is the opposite of Aries. So and Taurus. So um Mars, if you have a Mars in Libra, you're gonna struggle in that area with your passion. Same thing for Venus. Aries is the opposite of Libra, so you're gonna do bad in that area when it comes to your love life sometime if you have an Aries and Venus. So just wanted to get that out the way. So Neptune and Scorpio. Neptune, like, is ruled by Sagittarius, no, Pisces, and it's dealing with dreams, illusion, the spiritual world, and stuff like that. So his is a Scorpio. Scorpio's a fixed water sign. So Scorpios is gonna be stuck in the way that they feel. They're gonna be dealing with emotions. A lot of Scorpios is considered dark, secretive. You know, Scorpios get a lot of bad rep, but they good in a lot of areas because if they use their traits for a good thing, like, you know, Scorpios can be good at um you know, uncovering other people's secrets. A lot of Scorpios are determined and, you know, they go hard when it comes to their goals. They can become obsessed to something to where they master things. A lot of Scorpios gonna be good or bad in the relationships. A lot of them gonna be good in relationship, but then a lot of them can be players. So that's just some Scorpio traits real quick. So I'm look at concerned with the deepest, most hidden dimensions of honesty, truth, and intimacy. You want to reveal the truth to others. We can have more meaningful moments in relationships too. So, depth, intensity, and emotional resistance reinforce to desire for spirituality and self-understanding. So that's a Neptune in Scorpio. His Pluto is in Virgo. Pluto is ruled by Scorpio. Pluto is doing with basically death and reincarnation, reinventing yourself. That's what Pluto has to deal with. So Pluto is ruled by, like I said, Scorpio. So if you have a Pluto in the opposite of Scorpio is Taurus. So with the obsessive planet in this detail-driven position, nothing escapes your sight and eye. At best, this can make you a true master who will work tirelessly to on your craft. At worst, you may be per perpetually dissatisfied, never feeling like you can do or have or be enough. So that's interesting. When it comes to Michael Jordan, 'cause we definitely know he worked hard to master his craft, like I was saying about how Scorpios is who rule by Pluto, but then Virgos are definitely like that and they detail oriented. So having this Virgo and Pluto, he can be detail oriented and like they say, he can feel like he never can do enough or never good enough sometimes. And that's probably what drove Michael Jordan to work hard and keep on being better and better to be the best, with his Virgo being in Pluto. So North Node and Lymph I never really get into because I mainly try to stick with the planets because just like the houses, because like these videos always end up being long and I be trying not to make them so long. But for Michael Jordan, I'm gonna look up North Node. So what North Node means, because I rarely get into the North Node. So the North Node in our national chart represents the unique direction that each of us are being called to explore and ultimately become. It may currently be unknown to us, but waiting in the eventual spaces fulfillment like nothing else experience. So I guess your North Node can tell what you call it to be in life, which is kind of deep. So maybe I need to start looking into the North Node because I get that's a big thing when you look at it. So, oh, it cares. Cancer North Node is a symbol of inspiration, hope, and guidance of finding your life's purpose and heart desires. The life's mission of those with North Node and Cancer is to become a warm and nurturing soul. A Cancer North Node individual's purpose in life is to make and enjoy heartfelt connections. So that's where Michael Jordan would get his best satisfaction in life is making purposeful connections with people in life. And it got me interested because I looked up length before, but I can't remember because I don't do a lot of them. What it mean in astrology? I'll spell. Um, it's a astrological point in your birth chart that encourage you to discover the taboo side of your personality. Length specifically shows where you have hidden your true desires from the world. Avoid ridicule or abandonment. So these are your hidden desires that people don't get to show in life, that you don't get to show for the most part, that you don't show people. Bring a greater thirst for justice, but an easier facility to manipulate other people, usually with good intentions. Care must be taken not to be too uncompromising to own the truth in your romantic and social relationships. Um, so this basically saying that Michael Jordan hidden desires is gonna be a thirst for justice and gonna be but easily to manipulate other people, usually with good intentions. So his secrets, the secret about Michael Jordan that he don't show people is that he like to manipulate people, but it's with good intentions most of the time. So we know that can definitely be Michael Jordan for sure. So I wanted to get into a couple things like I've been doing in a couple other videos, and that's getting into if the person is married or in a relationship and seeing who they married or in a relationship with and seeing if that matches up with their astrology chart, to see if they compatible with the person who they dating. So in this case, we know that Michael Jordan is married. So we gonna take a look at Michael Jordan's wife and see if it lines up. And then I also want to take a look at Michael Jordan's first wife to see if it lines up also. We got everybody's zodiac chart, so they should have her. Yep. So let's see. March 26th, so she's Aries. So she is a sun in Aries. Moon in Pisces, Mercury in Aries, and Venus in Aquarius. So we could stop there because we got what we want for the most part. So she's a sun in Aries. So with him being a sun in Aquarius, that definitely lines up good. Um, Fire and air go together. So Aquarius and air go together a lot. Me being an Aquarius, a lot of my best friends is Aries. A lot of girls I done dated is Aries. So Aries and Aquarius usually go along good. So it makes sense for them to get along and get married, be able to, date and get along. So that lines up. Now her moon is in Pisces. So Pisces and Sagittarius typically don't get along because it's water and fire, and then Pisces typically don't get along with Aquarius either. So that's where a little bit problems could come in a relationship. So maybe it's not the perfect relationship because they moon signs don't line up, or her moon sign don't line up with his sun or moon sign. So they could have problems with their sun sign do line up, and then her sun sign lines up with his moon sign also because Aries and Sagittarius line up good too because they both fire signs. So that can work also with her. Aries lines up with his sun and moon sign. It's just that her moon sign don't line up with his sun or moon sign. So it's still good and can work. Then, like I said, his Venus is in Capricorn, hers is in Aquarius. So that can also line up too. Cause just like I said, Capricorn and Aquarius, even though air and earth don't go together like air and fire, like I said, they both was ruled by Saturn. So Aquarius and Capricorn share a lot of traits with each other. So they can get along in that area, like with her being the Aquarius Venus and then him being the Capricorn, uh with Michael Jordan being the Capricorn Venus. So that can line up also. So that makes sense to them being able to, with them lining up and being together. So I also wanted to look at Michael Jordan's first wife also. See, yeah, Juanita. They got everybody's zodiac chart. So she's a Gemini with a moon in Virgo, Mercury in Cancer, then her Venus is in Leo. So that's interesting. So, of course, Gemini goes with Aquarius. They both air signs. So his two wives is a Aries and Gemini. So it lines up perfect in that area. Gemini goes with Sagittarius also. They opposite signs, but they both air and fire signs. So they go together well. So that definitely lines up. But then her moon is in Virgo. So earth and air don't typically go together, but Virgo and, like I said, Aquarius do get along a lot because they both thinking signs and dealing with intellect. A lot of Virgos, just like Kobe is a Virgo, and we know Kobe and Michael Jordan relationship. So Virgos and Aquarius, they not the best when it comes to being compatible, but they do get along more so than like a Aquarius and a Taurus, who's an air sign, or a air sign and a water sign, like a Aquarius with a water sign. So it's not that bad of a placement, but like I said, they sun signs definitely line up, and then her sun goes with his moon sign. So her Venus is in Leo, his is in Capricorn. So this might be where they had a problems and didn't work out because Leo being a fire sign, and then his being an earth sign. Leo and Capricorns don't typically go together, even though they can, but for the most part, it's not the most perfect relationship. So yeah, so that also makes sense with his first wife because he was married to for her for over a decade. So it lines up for sure. So that's pretty much about Michael Jordan. 'Cause like I said, I ain't gonna try to make the video too long. Not sure how long it is already, but so that's Michael Jordan. It definitely speaks to his personality. One last thing I wanted to say is that a lot of Aquarius are, for whatever reason, basketball players and good at basketball. Like myself was good at basketball. Um, there's so many Aquarius that's good at not even just basketball, sports, period. Like a lot of Aquarius is good at sports. Then the Sagittarius is another sign that's real good at sports also. So it can make sense that Michael Jordan is good at sports because Aquarius and Sagittarius are both good at sports. Like, that's a lot of Aquarius sports players: Randy Moss, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, Klay Thompson, Steve Nash. Sagittarius sports players like Larry Bird, Giannis is a Sagittarius. I I can't think of off the top of my head, but like a lot of Aquarius are real good at sports. And then Caitlin Clark, if you don't know who that is, she the female college player that been blowing up and killing it. She actually got my birthday. She Aquarius too, and they saying that she probably gonna go down as the greatest woman basketball player. So just wanted to throw that out there that a lot of Aquarius. Oh, Wayne Gretzky is a Aquarius, and he the best basketball player. Lawrence Taylor is the best defensive football player. So like a lot of Aquarius is dominating sports. So hey, call it what you is, but that's something else I wanted to prove also. So Y'all tell me what y'all think. His relationships lines up with astrology. His personality lines up with astrology because I know Michael Jordan and being an Aquarius, he definitely do act like a Aquarius. I got an Aries moon, so I got a air sun sign and a fire moon sign. So I know what it's like how Michael Jordan is a lot of times, and his personality, I understand it a lot. And then, like I said, I was big into basketball. Basketball was my first love. I just wasn't 6'6", or I'll probably be in the NBA. But that's all. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And if like I said, once again, happy birthday to Michael Jordan, and shout out to all the Aquarius. I'm out. I got one more video to do because Aquarius season about to end. I think it end on the 18th. So tomorrow. So Dr. Dre birthday is tomorrow. I said I was gonna do Oprah or another female, so I'm gonna debate about it. I'm either gonna do Dr. Dre because it's his birthday or tomorrow, or I'm gonna do Oprah to close it out since I haven't did a lot of females.